Hey, good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Another beautiful 14-degree day here in PA. We're hitting the road today, going on a little road trip. Except I'm not driving, my buddy Nick's driving. We're heading out to one of his job sites. I bought another load of hemlock logs from him. So he's gonna take me out, we're gonna get loaded up and bring them back to my mill. So we're in his log yard now, and let's go jump in the truck. Let's hit the road. Well, we made it out to the landing. It's quite the stack of wood there behind us. Nick's out here getting the truck ready. We're gonna get a load on and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on here. So this is a fully mechanized logging operation is what you consider this. You can see they've got a loader there. There's a feller buncher back here behind this log pile. That's how they cut the trees. See, he's pulling a load of wood out right now with the skidder. So do you want to explain to these guys kind of the process of what's going on here, what we're looking at? I just kind of showed them the loader and the feller buncher there behind us.
So our initial process was we came in and we made a boundary line around this. This particular stand is mainly softwood and it's extremely overpopulated. So we did what we consider to be a seed tree harvest. Go through, select the mature and a lot of the diseased, overcrowded trees that are not producing to their fullest extent because of the overpopulation. And once the safe trees are marked, we come in with the feller buncher and he'll lay it down strategically. It's not so much of a process to just go in and throw it down whatever way you want, you know, everything works out. He has to know where he's going to have his loader set up, which direction the loader is going to sit, and that all factors into the way he cuts the trees and puts them on bundles, because everything is about production. The faster the wood can get from there to here and cut up and on a truck, you know,
so you don't want to be laying something down that's going to be in your way that you have to move. You want to move the wood as little as possible.
Correct. So
and also, you know, you're trying to minimize your damage to the land as much as possible. So you don't want to be tearing stuff up that doesn't need to be tore up.
Correct. And not only that, but you know, when we're doing a harvest like this, we don't want the safe trees that we're leaving, we don't want them all skinned up. So he has to know, in his head, he has to be able to picture what it's going to look like once it's down and how he's going to drag it out. So for instance, you know, most of the butt ends of the logs when you go down through here will be facing this direction or on a little bit of an angle so that he can hook to them and come as straight as he can back to the landing. If he were to put them on a 90-degree angle, at some point he would have to make a 90-degree turn and come out, which takes up a lot more room, and there's a pretty good chance he'd find a safe tree and either knock it over or skin it up, which is counterproductive to what we're trying to get here.
Yeah, so there's a lot more to it than just cutting a bunch of trees down and dragging them out. You know, there's strategy. It's just like everything else. You know, if you're a professional, you kind of know these little tips and tricks, and you know that's what you're witnessing here. A really nice, clean, laid out job. And maybe we'll go for a little stroll here while Nick is loading up the truck. Anything else you want to?
Yeah, I mean, it's once you get into the repetition of doing it, it's fairly simple. It comes out. There's a saw on the other side of that loader. He'll pull it in. It's a measuring table. It's all operated from the booth or the cab of the saw or the cab of the loader. Sorry. And he pulls the logs in. In his head, grades them or wherever he thinks they should be cut. If they're crooked, the saw will cut them, and then he separates them, sorts them onto the different piles. And from there, the trucks come in and he loads them out to where they need to go. And, you know, some of it goes back to our place, and we sort it further, and yeah, winds up at its final destination.
All right. Very neat operation, a lot of equipment, a lot of very expensive equipment, but yeah, we'll take a little bit of a stroll around here. I'll give you maybe a closer look at some of this stuff as Nick gets us loaded, and then we'll take off back to our mill. So guys, I apologize. I really screwed up here. I bobbled the camera between shots and the microphone cord came a little bit undone and I didn't notice it. So I recorded all this without any audio. I really am not happy about it, but I'm going to try to do my best here to narrate what's going on. So we're looking at the Feller Buncher now. This is a really impressive machine. You can see the blade there that actually cuts the trees like a giant saw blade, and you drive into the tree and that just kind of cuts it off. And then the big claws there, they wrap around it and grab the tree. And you can maneuver it, twist it, turn it, and cut the tree off and turn it and drop it exactly where you want into nice, neat piles. It really is a neat machine. Adam, the logger, was telling me that he can cut 22 inches with this tree or with this machine in one shot. And he can actually cut a bigger tree than that by kind of nibbling at it from one side, then going to the other and cutting it off. So now I'm going to take you over to the loader and show you that. It really is a shame. We had great interviews here between Nick and Adam. They really did a nice job explaining this. So I'm going to try to do it justice and kind of give you a paraphrase of what we talked about, and hopefully I don't miss anything. You know, hopefully I kind of can explain things as good as they did, because I know I learned a lot here on this job site, and I really am upset that I goofed this up. So these are the hitches he just brought in with the Skitter. He brings them in and he fires up the loader. And I'm going to show you this in a minute. He actually demonstrated for us, but he grabs everything with the loader, and there's a measuring table there you can see in front of me, and that has marks of his different lengths, and he'll set it on the measuring table there, and then that chainsaw, it's kind of like, you know, regular chainsaw just on steroids. It's hydraulically powered off the loader hydraulics. It's huge. It runs really fast. So he'll trim everything to length, and then he'll stack it on the according piles, depending, you know, if it's a saw log, if it's pulpwood, if it's firewood, you know, what market it's going to. So he has the ability to cut and sort everything from the cab of the loader safely and efficiently. It really is neat, and like I said, we'll show you that in a minute in action. So I kind of walked out to the job site a little bit here to give you a better look of what's going on. And I have to say, this is one of the cleanest logging jobs I've seen. They really are doing a very nice job. So if you look over there in front of us, you'll see that is kind of very dense and dark. It's a very thick stand of mostly softwood. And Nick was telling me this was clear cut about 80 years ago. And it was just left on its own. And this is what happens when you just clear cut and leave stuff go to regenerate on its own. It was just way overcrowded. The pine way overseeded itself, and everything just kind of chokes itself out and competes with each other. So you can see in front of us here as he goes by with the Skitter, all those trees that are left, they leave for seed trees. And what I'm standing on there, they drag the tops back out into the brush and disperse them around and kind of drive over them a little bit as they're logging. And Nick was telling me that really makes good habitat for those seedlings. You know, as those pine trees are dropping their seed, it makes a good start, gives them protection from the wildlife so those seedlings can get established. And it really is a nice natural system to repopulate the forest. So they're doing a great job here, taking care of the land, managing it correctly, and really running a very nice, clean operation. I'm very impressed by it. So this is Adam, the man behind the machines, and he gave me a great interview. Really gave me a lot of detail about, you know, his experience here, his equipment, everything. If you see this, sorry, buddy. I'm sorry I messed this up for you, but I wanted to get you on camera anyway a little bit. So I apologize for messing up our interview, but I'm going to try my best here to do you some justice and kind of explain what you explained to me. So I'll give you another view of this John Deere grapple skidder here. It's a very impressive machine. You see those tires, those aren't cheap. And then with the chains to go with them, I'm 6 foot tall, and well, you can see how big those tires are. So big beefy machine, lots of power. You can really pull a nice big grapple on it there. So Adam just fired up the loader, and he's going to do a little demonstration for us and show us how this works. He's going to sort and grade through some of the hemlock he just pulled in. So what he's doing there, that big yellow thing in the front of the loader, is actually a delimber. And that has knives in it that close around the trunk of the tree. And as he pulls, he's basically shearing off those branches. The knives actually kind of cut them right off. And it does a really nice job, as you can see there. It just knocks that right off. So if you've ever delimbed something by hand, you know how much work that is to go up and down the trunk of the tree with a chainsaw. Well, there he's doing it in one swoop. So, and that's basically what Nick is explaining to me right now, how that works. So from there he takes it, and like I showed you earlier, he's got that table set up that gives him his different lengths. So from the cab he's looking, and he's determining what the best use of that log is. You know, that's a nice straight butt log there, so he's going to make a saw log out of it and line it up exactly how he wants it to his marks, and then he'll cut it off. Now you can see he just started this loader, so the hydraulics are very cold. It takes a long time for it to warm up. So that saw actually goes quite a bit faster than that when it's warmed up. But the thing is, that's still way faster than what you would cut off with a hand chainsaw, let me tell you. Okay, so fast forward a little bit here. Now he's working on some pulpwood, some smaller stuff that won't make saw logs. And this was pretty fascinating to me. What he'll do here, he'll actually stack up a bunch of pieces in one shot. He'll delimb them, cut them to length, all in one shot, all for the sake of efficiency. It doesn't seem like much, but you know, if he was to take every piece one at a time, that all adds up. It's all seconds, which add up over the course of the day. So Nick was telling me here, he'll put 4 or 5 pieces on the saw table at one time, cut them, move them to the pulpwood pile. All in all, it just saves time. So it's all these little things that you would never think of that you know, really add to efficiency and make for, you know, a professional operation. So it's just kind of neat to see them, you know, share these little tips and tricks. So there he's going to add another piece to the pile. Get it just the way he wants it. And then he'll cut them all, and then he'll stack the whole thing. That saw really is impressive, how it can just go through those logs like butter. Sorry you have to watch my face. It's kind of awkward when there's no audio. But you can see he can just grab them like nothing and put them on the stack they need to go to. So to show the power of this loader, watch how he grabs this big saw log and just heels the entire tree up and over the pile. That is a pretty impressive machine right there. That's some horsepower. It's amazing. So he'll delimb that and cut it to a saw log and add it to the saw log pile. That's a nice saw log there. So all in all, an impressive operation. It's amazing what they're doing here. This job was laid out by a professional forester, so they had a third-party forester lay it out. Landowner agreed on it with Nick and Adam, so everybody was on the same page, and they really are doing the right thing here for this stand of timber. Particularly in our area in the Northeast, you see a lot of this where stuff was clear cut, you know, a century ago, and it just has become overgrown, overcrowded. Disease is an issue because the tops are touching. You know, it's not good for the land. So this is actually the best thing, you know, for the timber, for the land. Adam was actually telling me it's amazing how the wildlife comes in when he starts cutting like this. The deer absolutely love when the tops are on the ground. They browse on the vegetation. They love the shelter it provides. So counterintuitive to what a lot of people think about, you know, logging, this is actually, you know, environmental stewardship. You know, just letting this forest overcrowded, like you can see in the background there, that dark, desolate forest, there's nothing growing on the understory, it's just choking itself out. It's just not a healthy system. So we are improving the environment here and utilizing a natural resource. I definitely want you to watch my next video. I'm going to show you what these hemlock logs are being used for, and we'll take this full circle. Well, we made it back to the mill here. Nick's unloading me. I am super bummed that my microphone came unplugged here. I didn't realize it wasn't fully plugged in. I lost all my original audio, so I'm going to do the best here to make it up to you guys and kind of explain to you what's going on. Super frustrating, YouTube struggles, but hopefully I can do my best and paraphrase everything we talked about and get you a good video. Sorry guys, but I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.